Long time no see. So first off, I want to say sorry for no videos lately. I had made the video back in, I think it was September now, talking about the preliminary winter changes for the Olds, things like 3-link, redoing the roll cage, all that stuff, and it's kind of been radio silent since. And really it just comes down to, I've been incredibly busy. My company, Gorman Performance Engineering, has taken off a lot faster than expected, which is a good problem to have, but it's still a problem nonetheless. We've been doing a ton of really cool design work and engineering work for customers who have hired us to build one-off components for their race cars or one-off parts for their performance street cars, and even companies have hired us to design production parts that they want to sell. And it's been super rewarding, it's been an awesome challenge, I've learned so much, and it's been so fun to get to apply my background in engineering in a realm that I love, which is cars and racing. But unfortunately, I can't really talk about a lot of this stuff. When we get hired, there's NDAs involved. A lot of it's proprietary design that people don't want shared, which we understand and we want to respect. We completely get that people don't want that stuff disclosed. So that means that we do a lot of really cool engineering work, but we can't share any of it. But in addition to the work we've been doing for customers, we've also been doing a ton of design development and engineering work for the A-body platform. Obviously, it's near and dear to my heart having one and racing it. And we felt that there are several components that we could help usher in a kind of next generation of pro touring with, where we could really bring high-level motorsports engineering down to grassroots motorsports, and especially on the muscle cars. So we have what we feel are several really cutting-edge components that we're going to be showcasing on this car in 2024 and have for sale hopefully later next year. Now with that stuff, we've been documenting some of the design process. Obviously, we can't give away too much information because it is proprietary designs and we don't want to give up what we feel is an edge in our design over existing products. But we do have some of the scanning process, the design process, kind of general information where we're not giving too much away, but it gives you some insight into engineering that we think is really cool because not a lot of that content exists. So we're definitely going to be posting some of that stuff, but when it gets to the specifics, we don't want to give too much away there. So we do have some exciting engineering content coming related to Gorman Performance Engineering, and obviously we'll have some awesome parts that'll be coming. But that kind of leads into the Olds. We've been so busy with everything else that I haven't really had the chance to touch it. I haven't started pretty much any of the winter upgrades yet, which is unfortunate. I was really excited to start doing that stuff, but ultimately the business takes first priority and this takes second priority. And the goal is to be full-time with Gorman Performance Engineering soon, but we're not there yet. Everybody in the company works a day job and then works on this in their free time, which means we just don't have free time. And unfortunately, this kind of has to sit on the back burner compared to that because that's a lot more important. But now that things are starting to calm down a little bit, we can turn our focus to this, which we're very excited for. So let's get into some of the changes and what we're going to be doing now with this updated timeline. All right, so let's talk a bit about the 3-link kit. Now, originally in the last video, that was really going to be the big change we were doing this winter, was converting it from the factory triangulated 4-link over to a 3-link setup. Now, the plan is to still design a 3-link setup and document that over the winter. So we'll take you guys through 3D scanning everything, modeling it, some of our design process, ultimately leading to a 3-link kit / Watts link kit that'll be for sale for these cars. We'll have some specific to the A-body and also some universal ones available for sale. We're just not sure if we're going to be able to fully implement it on this car before the season starts. We'll have the kit ready to go, and obviously we want to test it, vet it, verify it, all that good stuff. But we don't know if we're going to be able to do that and the fuel cell and update the roll cage all before the season starts, just because a lot of our free time's been eaten up, so we don't have as much time as originally anticipated to spend on the car. So worst case, this will be something that'll get implemented at some point next year, where if we have a month where it's lighter on racing or our schedule is just aligned that we have a good bit of time to spend on the car, we'll have it ready to go and implement it. But we're just not sure if we're going to be able to do the entire installation and everything this winter. But nonetheless, we'll have a bunch of really cool tech videos about rear suspension design and also our approach to engineering the kit for sale. So definitely stay tuned for that. Kind of a bummer that we can't definitely be sure that we're going to implement everything, but at least we'll be able to get a good head start so it's ready to go regardless.
Now we also have some really cool, exciting, and experimental changes coming to the car that I haven't talked about and weren't even on our original winter plans. This is stuff that we're seeing done on really high-level, high-end time attack cars and some of the upper echelons of motorsport. And we had looked into some of this technology, and it's not really that much time and effort to implement into the car. You know, it's less than something even like a 3-link. And we think it can be pretty game-changing for Pro Touring muscle cars, some of this stuff. Now, we're not going to talk about exactly what that is in this video. I'll have to keep you guys in suspense for a little bit. But it is really cutting edge, really cool, and we think it can do a lot for people who drive their cars on the streets and also the track. You know, it's something that if you have a true Pro Touring car where it's a dual duty cruiser / racer, it'll be good for you there. Or if it's something like this where it's more of a hardcore track car that sees some street use, then it's also right at home there. So stay tuned for that. That'll be upcoming pretty soon. We're finishing up some design work, laying out some diagrams, making sure that this stuff is going to work out how we think it is. But nonetheless, we have some really, really cool and exciting stuff coming.
And so that brings us to the content plan for the rest of this year and going into the next year. Obviously, the original plans have kind of gone off the rails with what we wanted to do to the car, and where we're at versus where we wanted to be are two very different things. But nonetheless, we have some really, really cool stuff coming. We're going to be doing some general tech videos going over just fundamental motorsport concepts, kind of universal stuff that isn't just necessarily applied to muscle cars, but just racing in general. We'll have some tech videos specific to muscle cars, going over some of their characteristics and unique challenges. Obviously, we'll have the install videos coming for these really cool changes that we're going to make, and diving deep into the tech side of that and the engineering side. We're going to have engineering videos coming for some of the product development we're doing. And then that brings us into 2024 when we're hopefully back into racing. Now, 2024 is really going to be what we hope 2023 would be. We're going to be doing tons of big events. We're planning to do a couple Optima events, some of the big UMI autocrosses, maybe even LS Fest, and really just document all of it. We want to really bring a nice cinematic footage coverage to these events, and so we want to have them documented well, talk about the car setup changes we're making, the challenges we're facing, what the car's doing well, what it's not doing well, things like that. Really take you into the tech and racing side of some of these events instead of just a regular vlog style. It's going to be a little more in depth than that. Which was something we'd hoped to do this year, but it just didn't work out. The car broke. We were kind of getting our feet wet with some of the higher level content creation. We're testing a bunch of changes on the car, and we want to do that, but take it a step further. We want to bring you into the unique challenges we face inherently with an experimental car like we're going to have for next year. There's going to be challenges. There's going to be things that exceed our expectations and go really, really well, but there's also stuff that's going to disappoint us or cause us challenges and give us grief when we don't expect it. And so we want to document all that and kind of bring you into what it's like to design, test, prototype, reiterate, evolve, things like that. And so we're really excited for it. It's really going to be content of all angles, and obviously we're going to have the events we're hosting through GPE. We'll have new exciting projects, maybe even some different cars, maybe even start a new build finally next year. There's a lot of really cool stuff in the pipeline, and I really appreciate you guys sticking around through all this. 2023 was kind of a year of ups and downs, and ultimately was a disappointment on the racing and content creation front, where things just didn't go our way. But 2024 is looking to be the year that we all hoped for, both with Gorman Performance Engineering, but also with the Oldsmobeast. So stay tuned, because next year is going to be pretty awesome. I'll see you guys in the next one.